Sesso. Golden Nuggets. Golden Nuggets, Joe Sesso.
They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Would you agree with that statement? When adversity strikes, when it hits you out of nowhere like a sucker punch, it's hard to see the value in that right away. Sometimes it's just the tiniest of things that we can take away from a bad situation that can pull us through and make us stronger. I call these little things golden nuggets. What happened to me on November 8th, 2010 was one of the worst events of my life. I needed to find the golden nuggets in that event to pull me through and make me stronger. Now, prior to that, I was living the highlights. I had my dream job, traveling the country, eating at great restaurants, staying at great hotels, but most importantly, I was having fun. But that came to a screeching halt on November 8th. I was working at the Super Bowl of my industry, the National Association of Realtors Convention, a 4-day mega convention, and my job during this time was to work on the sales convention floor at my booth to sell and raise brand awareness. For the first 3 days, I was kicking butt. I was top salesperson, and I was having a great time. On the 4th and final day, with about 1 hour to go before the conclusion, it happened. I got a tap on the shoulder. I turned around. It was my national sales director. He handed me a piece of paper. He said, "Joe, take this. The boss wants to see you right now." Now, this was obviously a very awkward moment, but there were customers around, so I didn't want to say anything. So I just quietly packed my stuff up and left. Now, understand this. What they were asking me to do was leave this massive convention center, walk across the street, go to a hotel, which I was not a guest of, go up 8 floors, and walk into a hotel room to which I had no idea what to expect. The piece of paper were directions to the room. Now, as I'm making this walk, I'm thinking to myself, one of 3 things is going to happen to me when I walk in that room. 1, I'm going to get a promotion. 2, I'm going to get laid off. Or 3, I'm going to get whacked. So, our sales for the year were down about 40%, so I did not think I was in line for a promotion. And even though the company might have been a little disturbed by that, I didn't think they were actually going to kill me for it. But I couldn't rule out option number 2. And sure enough, moments later, my worst fears were realized, and I lost my job. Immediately, my world came crashing down on me. My heart sank into my stomach, the room was spinning around, and I was gasping for air. All I could think about is, how am I going to pay my bills, support my family, pay my mortgage? And walking back to my hotel room, I was helpless. I felt like Rob Blagojevich on a bad hair day. Packing my bags up and going to the airport, I was dazed. I was confused. I was clueless. Kind of like Rob Blagojevich on a good hair day. But when I got to TSA, I actually left my belt in the bin. Didn't even realize until I got on the plane. That's how out of it I was. Now, being a frequent flyer, you get a lot of perks. And on this particular flight, I had been upgraded to first class. Now, not knowing if I'd ever have another first class flight again, and being in the depressed state of mind that I was in, this particular flight meant only one thing to me: free drinks. So the plan was just to keep throwing them down, pass out, wake up, and then hope that it was just a nightmare. I got on the plane, I ordered my first cocktail. Now, one thing I've always remembered about being in first class is that you should always talk to the people around you, because you never know who might be sitting next to you and the opportunities that were there. When I turned to my right, I immediately recognized the gentleman sitting next to me. He was a titan in our industry. I introduced myself, I told him I was a big fan of his, I admired his work, and then he asked me what I did. I told him, and he said to me, they did a lot of business with my company, and he said, "You know, actually, I remember you, Joe." And this shocked me. He said, "I remember you. I remember you from the last convention. Yeah, you had so much passion, so much energy. We actually bought products because of you. Joe, you are going places with this company." I looked at him and I said, "Well, it's funny you should say that, because I actually just was laid off a couple of hours ago." He asked me, "How are you feeling?" I said, I'm not feeling too good right now. I don't feel like Charlie Sheen. I'm not winning. I actually feel like I'm losing. He said, Joe, I didn't get to where I am today because I never failed. I didn't get to where I am today because I always succeeded. I got to where I am today because I did fail. I've been bankrupt. I've lost properties in foreclosure. I've been laid off from jobs. But here's the thing, Joe. Every time a bad experience happened, I pulled the golden nuggets, the good things from it. And every time I had a new business or a new opportunity, I was stronger, I was smarter, and I was better. Now, Joe, I just pointed out 3 golden nuggets in your life. And here's the thing. I didn't even know you were getting laid off yet. So remember, that's how I got to where I am today. Not because of my successes, but because I learned from my failures. You got to get back on that horse, Joe. You can be very successful. And you're going to learn from this experience. But Joe, you cannot wait. Because there's nothing worse than seeing talented individuals get depressed, get down, and not get back on that horse. You've got to do it right away. Because no one is going to help you but you. Immediately, a weight was lifted off of me. Because this has just changed my life again. I felt empowered. I felt excited. When the stewardess came over and asked me, can I give you another drink? I said, no, thank you. I'm switching to coffee. I'm having a great conversation. That flight changed my life. When I got off the plane, I was ready to go. I was so excited, so empowered. The next morning I woke up, I went right to work on my resume. And guess what? Within 30 days, I found another job. The golden nuggets pulled me through. But I could have very easily felt sorry for myself or blamed others for my problems, because losing my dream job was a terrible experience. But I found the golden nuggets in there to pull me through and make me stronger and help me stay focused on what I needed to do most: find another job. So remember, when things get really bad in your life, look for the golden nuggets to pull you through. They work for me. They can work for you.